Hey, hello?
Hey.
Are we here?
Are we there?
Are we there? Are we there yet?
Are we there yet?
Hey now.
Just what I was telling you, Margaret, I had another window open. So when that music started, it was like double. And I had to find it. I had to shut it.
It said people can see you. I was all. You know.
Yes. Yes. Hey, everybody. This is Johnny Beane and Jay Hannon. It is August 7th, 2020, 8:11 Eastern, 5:11 Pacific. And we're joined tonight by guitarist, musician, Margaret Scranton.
Hey.
Welcome, Margaret.
Thank you for inviting me to come in and have fun and talk about things and stuff and share whatever you'd like to talk about. Cookies, philosophy.
Cookies.
Oh,
awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have the greatest cookie recipe ever.
Nice.
My father and I bonded over the perfect cookie dough, but
Well, we got to hear that before we sign off for the night.
yes, because people mislead you. We were talking about this, Johnny and I. I think a lot of recipes mislead you to making bad cookies, which I think is wrong. It's like teaching you a part on guitar wrong just to like mock you or something. I don't get it.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
Yes. So hey, everybody. Let me just say we're live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. And I would like to thank our channel members. Where are they? Where is the thing? These features are getting longer and longer. Here on YouTube, you can become a channel member, which is basically it's a sponsor. You sponsor the production of these videos, and our executive producers. I'm scrolling. There we go. Are Charles Green, Joe Christian, Thomas Santiago, Music Therapy Laz, Mike Neese, Michael Smith, and Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael.
Hey, buddy. Carmichael?
Steve Carmichael. Yes. Yes. And this is also a podcast, or it's supposed to be. So you can subscribe and listen to the Johnny Beane podcast on iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, iTunes, whatever it is. See?
It's one of those.
Yes. Man. And yeah, my picture is really, really lagging tonight. And I apologize for that. But
Tomato. Is it Caribbean or Caribbean?
Depends what song it's in.
Oh.
It's Caribbean Queen. But if I have, let's just say like Caribbean rum or something like that, then it's Caribbean. But Caribbean Queen. And if I'm going to the Caribbean, how would I say it?
The Caribbean.
It's all about context, right?
I like Caribbean for some reason, but
yeah.
Don't ask me why. I don't know.
Oh, there's Steve Carmichael. Hey, man.
I was hoping somebody was going to start singing.
Thomas. Oh, I can see all the people. Hi, guys. How fun. Ooh.
Everybody say hello to Margaret and give a thumbs up.
Hi.
Yes.
Be kind to one another, especially on the roads.
On the Randy roads.
Yeah. So who's watching? Who do we have here? Can you see that? Or do you want to read
that tonight?
Yeah.
All right.
Girl, right on, girl.
All right. So we got Janice Lala. We got David Ned's Balls.
Hi, Janice.
Susie Cherry, Hal Face, Thomas Santiago, Steve Carmichael.
Steve Carmichael.
Ghost BC Rich, Fruitcake Tony, Pal Guitars is here.
Hey.
John BL, check your Facebook messages, dude. What are you doing? Edwin Crane.
Oh, you got those messages too?
So now I'm mad. I saw John BL's name in here, and now I'm mad.
Uh-oh.
It's not even Saturday night, and I'm mad.
He's the producer.
Yeah. Colleen Gray, Brian Spalding. So now I forget which names I already read because of you, John BL.
Oh, it's all good.
Kelly is here. I'm just busting balls, but really check your messages. Cobra Kai Platoon. Let's see. Who did I miss here? Everybody else. Music Therapy Lives. I think I said that. Kurt S5150. David Scher. He was here earlier in the chat. Everybody else that's just coming in. Hello.
Yeah.
Let's get rocking.
Welcome.
I was gonna bring my finger puppets. I forgot. Sorry.
We have 2 hours.
They're like steps away if we do intermission for like a potty break or something. But
oh, sure.
well, I had a thing where I always thought I'd have children, so I collect small stuffed animals and then a finger puppet thing. Long story, but I never did have kids, so they're mine.
Finger puppets. Well, hey, you guys, that's we got the content tonight.
I guess so.
It's really silly. This is going to be,
Amazing.
I think, different. I hope you enjoy. It's a little different. I could talk music and shop, and I teach guitar, and we could talk about harmonic minor versus diminished versus major scales. We could talk about neck diagram, which I'm really excited about. That a lot of people don't understand how to transpose. Oh, there's Kitty. Oh no.
Oh, that was awesome.
That was pretty good.
You know, I'm not a super gear person because I just play Les Pauls and, you know, do the whole Angus Young straight in kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But then I could talk about cookies and cats and African violets. If you want to know how to raise African violets, I can get into that. I have a rose named after me. My grandmother was a hybridizer and a rose master. And there's if you look it up, I told someone that one time, if you look it up in the rose registry, Margaret Jean is a mini. It's a small magenta rose named after me that my grandma created. Pretty cool, huh?
That's very cool.
That's awesome. Awesome. So I guess we can just start with Margaret and I. We used to share gigs together years ago. Like at least a couple years ago.
At least
it's been a few years. But I remember meeting you. I remember we played the Paradise Lounge in San Francisco.
Oh, great club.
I was on the small stage, my instrumental trio. You guys, I think, were on the main stage. Your band.
Did we?
Unless did they have 3 stages in there?
They had 3.
Oh.
We played on the small stage where the light upstairs, where the light was so close to you because it was so small, it was like burning your head.
Everybody that played on stage that night left with like male pattern baldness.
I think there was more sweating on the left side because of that. The main stage was cool. I think I played there twice and that was it. And then Slim's closed. I can't even believe that. I'm hoping someone buys it. I played on the Slim stage with the Hormones, which is a Ramones tribute band, all female, haha, Hormones.
That's pretty fun.
And what's funny is the stage is incredible. The lighting, you could look like a rock star even if you're not, because the lighting and the stage is so tall. And my cables from my amp to my pedals, you need to have a 20-25, right? Anyway, my cable wasn't long enough because I'd never been on a stage that big before. So I had to put my pedals over to the side because my cable wasn't long enough. I don't know. Always be prepared. Like Johnny, the string, I don't know if you want to tell that string story. I was like, oh my God. Like I vaguely remember that.
Do you remember that? I remember that because I remember feeling so bad.
I vaguely remember. I think I changed it in 2 minutes. I think I got a new string on there in less than 2 minutes.
We played another show. This was another band of mine, a separate band. I was in a different band like every week. And
wait, were we thrown out or were you just leaving bands?
I was throwing them out. Okay. And restarting different bands with the same music.
with the same people?
With different lyrics. Yeah, all the time. It was something was always happening. But Sort of, not really, but I remember I was playing. We shared a bill at this place called uh,
Stork Club.
the Stork Club. There we go, the Stork Club in Oakland, and that place is known for having like a huge collection of Barbie dolls.
What?
Right? Like all the walls are covered with Barbie dolls in this place.
In the boxes, I think, weren't they?
In the boxes and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember we shared the bill, and I remember during your set you were playing and you broke a string.
Which string do you remember?
Probably the B string, probably the first string.
Okay.
I like to bend, and then I have a heavy right hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I play extra heavy Fender picks. So I get into it like, and then I break strings.
Mm-hmm. And I remember feeling terrible because it was during while your show, you were up there fixing your guitar string.
I did. I went ahead and replaced it. Most likely I didn't have a second guitar. But
yeah.
After you told me that, I was like, did I do that? Like, what?
I remember that. And I think
really weird about, I always have to have a second guitar. You should always have a second guitar. You can finish a song with a broken string, but you should always have a second guitar. And I think I didn't. And maybe that's why I'm so adamant about that now.
You got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Later on, not that band, but another band I was in a few years later. We would tour, we'd play shows, everywhere, and I remember several times where an opening band or a band after us, they'd break a string or something would happen. I would always offer them my guitar. So I have pictures. I remember being on tour of like different people playing my guitar, like different places, just because it was kind of cool, and I have no idea who they are or whatever. But I'm just surprised, like I didn't offer you my guitar that night.
Somebody else you already gave it to somebody else, probably. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd give you my guitar, but Joe Schmo over here already is already.
He already broke all those strings.
I think I learned a good lesson that day, though. That always have a second guitar.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, and I have two right here. Should we show you?
Yeah, I want to see them.
Sure. Oh,
there it is.
look at that.
Oh yeah. See, if I had a Les Paul, that's what color I'd want it.
The 1960 reissue. It used to say 1960 right here, but I played it so much I wore it off.
Wow. And
she needs a fret job because I got another Les Paul, but I love this guitar so much, even though I have the same model, another classic. It's like a leather jacket, where you really like, it just becomes so much a part of you that it's like, and she's upset because I don't play her very much. And so when I get to take her out and she gets to be shown off, she's very happy about that.
That is nice. I don't think I've ever seen a Les Paul that color.
I remember that guitar.
And then that's the one I broke the string on, probably, huh?
Yeah.
So Gibby is also a 1960 classic reissue instead of a standard or deluxe or custom, right? It's a reissue classic. And we were talking, John and I were talking that Gibson no longer makes this, although we know the story about Gibson. I don't know if I know a lot about that, but Gibson's really in trouble because they got busted for bringing in endangered wood from Russia through South America. Got busted by the FBI, believe it or not. And so hopefully they get their shit together. Sorry. Oops.
Are those on both guitars, are those the stock pickups, or did you swap them out for something else?
This is a fun story. The stock pickups are super hot, like crazy hot, because it's a 1960 reissue, and I just lucked out. And people will be like, "Oh my God, your tone! What? Your tone!" And they're stock. I was really lucky. So I've never done the like change out pickups and like, man, back in the day though, I don't have no money for that. Remember rack mounts?
Mm-hmm.
and you had your pedals. Although all players now play small combo amps with low wattage because it sounds better, and people are going back to pedals and stuff. But when people were doing rack mounts and all that, I didn't have any money for that.
Yeah.
I bought a really nice guitar, and I still have it, Carvin half stack 100-watt tube amp. That thing screams. And so I just really didn't kind of have the money to go out and do anything. But I was telling John, I'm just kind of like no frills. I just want to play. I want to play well. So my focus was more on just being good at what I did. And I didn't have the money or the know-how. I didn't understand it. I'm like, whatever, just play, you know. But the pickups are super hot. In an extension to that, I did get a standard. So my first guitar, Les Paul, was a 91, and then I have a standard 95 and it has the chrome covered, and the neck's a little different. It's a little thicker, and it's kind of bright. And I almost sold it. Thank God! Don't ever sell a Les Paul. If you have a Les Paul, don't ever sell it. You will regret it. Okay.
I've never had one. So.
Me neither. I've never had a Les Paul.
And although they're more rare now because of Gibson's troubles with the, and then they changed the logo, and they have the traditional is like the traditional. It's a piece of shit. So, oh God, damn it.
Oh no, it's fine. We're 18 minutes in. You can.
Way you could possibly make a Les Paul. Why would you do that? It's like when Mustang. Remember Mustang? Hello. Bullet 65 Mustang Fastback. Remember that? Oh, the chase scene in that movie is so killer. Steve McQueen. Hello.
Oh yeah.
And that little tiny compact Mustang that was like a turd, really. And then, thank goodness, they brought back the muscle car and Charger, right? And they're bringing it back. Why did they ever downgrade the Mustang to like an economy car? I still don't understand that. But
speaking of Mustangs, I don't want to get off topic here, but every time somebody brings up a Mustang to me, I drove for an auto auction when I lived in New York. This was probably around 98, I'm thinking. Probably about 98, 99. Every Mustang around that era, like the 95s, 96, like those Mustangs, I'll use your word, Margaret. They were pieces of shit.
Fiberglass.
So whatever era those ones were that I was driving, like those mid 90s ones, whatever, they were hunks of crap, man.
Why? Why would you?
I don't know. And supposedly there was a yellow one that I remember driving, and there was a rumor that after it went through the auction and sold, they found a dead body in the trunk of it.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh God.
I don't know if it's true, but it's just what I heard like a week or two later. Hey, remember that yellow Mustang that was in here? I was like, yeah, I drove it through the block, And they're like, dude, they found a body in the trunk. I was like, what? So,
yeah.
Pretty cool.
That's good. Your fingerprints were in the car, though. Shoot.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't come knocking on my door,
Come after you. Hey, could have been you, buddy.
gosh.
No, what's funny is I got another classic in 2003. That's a whole nother story. Although we have 2 hours, but I don't want to bore you. I have more to say. The standard is far brighter sounding. But what's funny is these pickups are really hot for lead. Like you said, like, what are they? They're hot for lead guitar. What? The sustain is crazy. But as a rhythm guitar in the recording studio, they're really muddy. So I ended up using the standard in the recording studio as a rhythm, and it's beautiful. So it's funny how people talk about pickups for this and that. But I found that, the classic pickups are fantastic for live and for lead. But to the microphone, which is like a microscope, people, you learn a lot about recording yourself. I'm a teacher, so I'm going to bring that up. That you really want to, if you want to be good, you have to look for your flaws. Like folks want to go, oh, I'm good. Yeah. But, humbly, you see flaws, and that's where you improve. Right. Mm-hmm. So I realized that the standard is a fantastic rhythm guitar to a recording. So I joke around. I have a recording rhythm guitar with my engineer.
Yeah, but that's cool though. You know, different guitars. You know.
Yeah, like if you say
Yeah.
what pickups do you have? Well, it depends on what you're doing with it, right? Whether you're, like the tool that you need. I find that, yeah, but if you're aware of what happens in a recording studio, that those super hot pickups aren't going to be good for them. You need something a little brighter. So I learned that, and I'm like, cool. So I have 3 Les Pauls, and I have no children. That's how come I can have 3 Les Pauls. I still thought I would have kids, though. How many kids do you have, Jerry? You have 2? Boy,
Yep.
girl, 2 boys, 2 girls. What?
I got a girl who's going to be 4 in October, and then a little boy who just turned 5 months yesterday,
Oh,
2 days ago. 2 days ago.
So you got one of each. You did the dream.
Yeah. There was a lot of planning went into the first one to have a boy. So I read online, ways to increase your chances of having a boy, and I did them all, and we had a girl.
Boxer shorts. What is it? The whole.
Oh yeah, wear boxers. Don't do anything for at least 5 days, and by anything, you guys know what I mean.
Eat peanut butter, anything like that?
Well, I eat peanut butter all the time anyway, but certain positions you got to do, all this stuff. Went through the whole list, and we had a girl. And obviously, I'm over the moon about her. But then the second one, we were like, screw it, let's just whatever we have. Then we have a boy. So.
Literally.
What are their names? Do they have middle names?
I'm sorry.
What are their names? And did you give them a middle name? My boyfriend had hers. It's like no middle name. I'm like, really? Give them a middle name. They don't have to use it, but that's kind of cruel.
Well, the girl is her name is Ellie Vi Hannon, so her initials are EVH.
Is her? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Is her name Eleanor, or is her name?
It's just Ellie
on her birth certificate, not Eleanor.
Just Ellie. Just Ellie.
Because Eleanor Victoria was my girl name. I wanted to name my daughter, so that's nice to know. So there's an Ellie out there, not to my biology, but
yep,
nice. And in your son, then?
His name is Killian Wolfgang.
Whoa.
Yep.
Is that your Irish descent, Killian?
I'm part Irish, yes. So
Scottish.
We just, wanted, my wife actually picked that. I wanted, what did I want? I think I wanted I was leaning towards Sammy, and Jeannie was like, "Listen, I get what you're trying to do with the whole Van Halen thing, but it's too much. How about Wolfgang as the middle name?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's fine. I'll take it. Beggars can't be choosers."
Also a Mozart reference too.
Yeah, that too. So
you should have just named him Gary Sharon.
Well, you know what I was thinking? Our buddy Cameron Brown's in here, and it seems like nowadays everybody that's like in their 20s that's named Cameron is an absolute beast on guitar. So we were thinking Cameron, but I want to adopt Cameron Brown anyway, so I can't have 2 Camerons, can I?
So is it Killian? Okay, that's 3 syllables.
Mm-hmm.
What's the nickname? Leon?
No, hell no.
Does he have a shortened version, or you don't call him Kill?
That could work.
Okay.
That
I like that. That's very stoic.
Yeah. So
I had a student. His name was Grayson.
Ooh.
2 brothers, Grayson and Quill. And Quill had the most bluest eyes ever. And he's like, I don't know, 10.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "Shine On You Crazy Diamond" guitar solo was like one of his favorite things. I'm like,
parents are doing it right.
Your parents did you justice. Yeah.
Yep.
I babysat them once because I really liked the family. So I said, I'll watch them, go to dinner or whatever. And they wore me out on their trampoline. Like 10 minutes, not even 10 minutes. I was like,
yep.
You guys are killing me.
My back wall looks like, I think it's like strobing or something. You see that? Is anybody noticing that? If I'm like in a certain position, the back wall is like changing. And I felt like somebody was flipping the lights on and off for a second.
So you like Crazy Love Eddie Van Halen then?
Yeah, he's my first love. No, he's my favorite guitar player. So
that's why I started playing guitar.
I think the majority of Van
Halen.
So do you remember when you heard Van Halen for the first time?
Well, long story short, I'm the youngest of 5, right? And my eldest brother, who's 10 years older, was like, I had to listen to Van Halen and Led Zeppelin.
Mm-hmm.
And Jimi Hendrix is like his favoriteest person ever. Of course, Black Sabbath.
Mm-hmm.
And I have other brothers and sisters. Pete exposed me to Pink Floyd and Rush, and my sister Ann was into the Beatles and David Bowie. Mick Ronson, totally underrated guitar player. Love him. Les Paul. Hello.
Yeah.
And because I was young, I was like 13, and they had the van. Two of his friends had vans, so it was like going to concerts. So what's neat is I was in this bubble where my brother was like always, there. So my parents, I could go because I was with my brother. And that was the 82 Diver Down Cow Palace, September 17th. And it was like, okay, we went to the Scorpions. I love Scorpions, Judas Priest, and it was because they were going. So then I was like, I want to go. Tag along, sister. And it just blew my mind halfway through the show. I was like, holy crap, Oli. I have to play guitar. Like I turned in my roller skates because I used to roller skate like not professionally, but like competitions, like ice skating. And we listened to rock music, but it was just over. I had to play guitar. That was it. And but then Van Halen was like everything to me. Like I have on my Circus magazine hit parader. Remember that? Cream.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And my magazines, and I would listen to the records and look at the rock magazines, and I would cut out everything out of any magazine that was Van Halen. And when I moved out, finally, you know how many holes from tacks were in the walls in that room? It was terrible.
Remember the thumbtacks?
I had to plaster like the whole room because I had so many, and I still have all of it. I do. And the US Festival.
So you were attached because Johnny told me you were there, and I was
John
like,
BL. John BL. Listen to this.
I'm like in 8th grade, right? And I'm going to concerts with my brother. And my parents are totally straight. They raised like 5 crazy kids, party animals. Oh my God. And they're both totally straight. Long story, my dad was gay. That's a whole other story we can talk about.
They were straight, but my dad's gay.
Well, like drinking wise or partying
no.
or whatever. But beautiful man. Bless my father, 15 years he's been, but we talk to each other all the time. That's a whole other story. But my mom comes to me and she goes, so I suppose you're going to have to go. I'm like, it's in San Bernardino. Like, I can't go. Like, I want it. Sure. And she's like, well, I bought the tickets, $20. Do you remember who's on that bill?
God.
Yeah.
Motley Crue off their first album. Holy cow. Scorpions, Priest, Triumph, Ozzy, Van Halen. Who else was on that bill? It was crazy. $20. And people say, oh, $400 for tour tickets. No, $20. She's like, I ordered the tickets. I'm going to drive you to San Bernardino to go to see it. I'm like, what?
Oh.
Long story. My sister and her friend went. It was chaos. It was a crazy story. Oh God. They made us wait. We got super close because Van Halen was at the end. They made us wait for an hour, which was kind of a bummer that it was that long after the whole long day. And when you're a girl,
wait, Van Halen. So before Van Halen hit the stage, there was an hour.
It was an hour.
Oh.
They finished everybody throughout the day, and then they made us wait for an hour. And when you're a girl at a concert, you can kind of like go, hey. And there was these guys that had jugs of water, and we're like, hey, we didn't like, give them anything, like, what I mean. And so they let us drink our water, and we stood there. But I was like probably maybe 20 feet from the stage.
Wow.
And we waited and waited and waited.
And where are you?
Okay.
Wet. I could.
Where are you?
Wet. Are you in this picture?
I'm in there somewhere. There's me. No.
Drinking a jug of water. There you go.
And I could see the sweat on their faces. It was like, we went for me anyway. My sister's friend all of a sudden's like, I'm going to faint. We have to go. I'm like, oh my God, the whole point of this. So I said, okay. Because I'm a nice person. And I said, okay. So we like watched 2 more songs. And if you really think about it, when you're in the moment, you can record in your mind the memory. So I said, okay, record. and I can still play back seeing the whole thing. And I just said, okay, I'm just going to absorb everything I can from this entire moment. And then we left. We walked back and found my mom and my other sister while they were still playing. But I felt like I really did absorb everything. But then there was like this riot trying to get to the buses, 4,000 people trying to get on 4 buses. And the parking lot was a disastrous chaos. And my mom's a really nice person. And we got pushed under a fence, a cyclone fence, into the buses, got separated. The police officer was like telling my mom she had to move, that I couldn't go. And she yelled at him, "That's my daughter," which is a super nice lady. And she yelled at this highway patrol. And so he said, okay. And then we wandered like down a road. I said, we're supposed to go that way. And no one listened to me. I'm the youngest of 5. You should listen to your youngest anyway. We ended up back at our car finally at like maybe 7:30 in the morning. And then there was another concert the next day. It was the New Wave Day. Was the next day. It was like
the Monday.
Yeah.
They got the case of the Mondays.
It was a good story though, wasn't it?
It was. Hello, Glen Helen Regional Park.
It was awful, or it was But then in time, I think John and I were talking about that when you like foresee how you deal with things in the moment. Later on, it's going to make a really cool story, like this whole COVID thing. In 20 years, people are going to go, "Holy schmoly, we went through that."
Hulk Hogan thing.
The COVID.
Oh, I think you said the Hulk Hogan thing. I'm like, wait, what happened with the Hulk?
He was in Rocky 3.
Yeah, that's right. He was. Yeah, Underlips. So, how old were you at the US Festival?
I was 13.
13. Okay, man. Because I wasn't allowed to go to a concert until I was 15, and my first concert was the 93 Carnal Knowledge tour.
See, that was so. See, yeah, you're
93. It would have been the Live Right Here Right Now tour.
Yeah. Yep.
Right, John Bale.
It's funny. I'm taking over the show again, huh?
Well, you're supposed to.
It's your show. This is your show.
Like boys didn't like me. I was tall. I was 5'10" in 6th grade. I had this crazy like growing spurt in that summer, and I was super taller than everybody else. And you're like a girl, and you're in junior high, and I was a tomboy too, though. So, but I'm like, boys don't like me, or my brother's friends. I had a crush on like 2 of his friends, and I'm like, like years later, he told me, I told all my friends I would beat them up if anyone ever touched you. So I had this really like safe place. I feel like kids today, I mean, I could go into other stories, which I will not right now on here, maybe later privately, of some of the things that I, thankfully I was safe and I was never in danger, but, or nothing ever happened. But my brother was like this, he took care of me. He watched over me. And so at the time I thought, no one likes me. I'm not cute or whatever, like my friends. And then I realized that he made sure that I was safe and that nothing would ever happen because he protected me. So
that is a good feeling, because I have an older brother who's 4 years older, and that's why I like the music and the stuff that I'm into as well. And it was the same type of thing. Like I always felt like if I was somewhere with him, nothing would happen to me. So
yeah, you're safe. But
so we were almost discussing something before we went live here tonight about streaming, physical, different generations. Do you want to let's get into that?
Oh, well, I'm kind of old fashioned. John and I were talking about, I'm calling you John. Is that okay?
I love it. Call. Yeah. John.
That's fine.
That, this newer generation doesn't understand like the concept of the album. And just one example is it's not rock, but it's Coldplay. Okay, the song Yellow kind of got to me, and I was like, you know what, great song. I like songwriting, and then I like rock, but then I like classical and instrumental. So I kind of have like a multitude of tastes, but I do like songwriting groups. Travis out of Ireland is a great band for songwriting. Anyway, I bought the album, and there were other songs on the album that became my more favorite, like Green Eyes is a great song, but I have green eyes, so I think the song's about me. So sweet, and green eyes, you're so great. And I'm like, ooh, that's me. So, okay. We're talking about Dark Side of the Moon, and that look at Mind Crime. Queensryche's Mind Crime. Like,
yeah, now we're talking.
I don't believe in love, and that's all you're gonna. I don't be. Jeff Tate, hello.
Yep.
Chris, incredible songwriter. Jeff Tate can sing any lyric. I mean, the lyrics on that album are like thick as a brick, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just considering the idea of a concept album, The Wall, really, and that young people, like, I had a parent tell me the kid didn't even know the name of the song or the band. They only knew what track it was on the iPod. I'm like, that's your fault. Like, that's so wrong.
Yeah.
And the idea of with streaming and concert tickets are so much because artists don't make enough money or any money on record sales anymore. So that's why concert tickets are more expensive.
Yep.
They make a lot of money on merch, but your merch is like $50 a ticket. I mean, a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was like $10 back in. I get it. They got to, right? They have to have an insurance policy on the venue. They have the buses. They have like, all the
liability stuff. Yeah.
A lot of expenses for the artist. So you hear an artist made a lot of money, but like 3/4 of that is expenses so they can be an artist. So when you don't buy the album, one, you're gypping yourself for things you'll find on that record that may become more of your favorite. Looking at the credits, where was it recorded? Who was the engineer? I mean, Stone Temple Pilots, now I'm blanking out. The producer of Stone Temple Pilots, Brandon O'Brien.
Brandon O'Brien.
Yes. Genius. I mean, you miss out on all the depth of the creativity of that which you think you enjoy by hearing one song. But if you delve into, you find so much more appreciation. You find more intimacy, right? Into me, I see. And you have what they're giving you. But when you're a fan, there's an intimate relationship. How much like Van Halen. Oh my God. Like I could say I love them, but that's not like adore.
It's not enough. No, you could. It's not enough.
I could scream for an hour, and that wouldn't tell you how much I love them. But Ted Templeman, right? And then the Neil, what's his name? Zeraldo was the photographer who did all. Remember Van Halen's band pictures were always like super.
Oh,
their band. Remember that? And the one. What was it? Some of them turned around, and and he did a lot of artists at that time. But it was really the Van Halen thing. And so the band photos, because every little nugget of anything you could get, whether especially backstage or a private photograph of somebody versus live or a band, photograph. I mean, Women and Children, that album cover, seriously. So there's all these details in when you have the album and what you absorb. And if you really like that song, plus the artist gets paid. I mean, what the hell's wrong with you?
Well, I think it all there it is. Look at that.
Oh yeah, black and white.
It all goes back to the internet. I mean, once the internet really kicked in, and when you mentioned the circus magazines and Metal Edge and all those things, and I mean, you were craving all this stuff, like all the you didn't know much about a lot of these bands, so you had to kind of like wait till. Obviously they came to your area, or wait until they were on MTV, or wait till the next month's magazine came out. Like there wasn't a lot of the overload of information that once the internet hit, like, everything was mysterious back then. And now it's just like everything is right at your fingertips, You
don't really care.
Huh?
But like I find that people's attitude is the anticipation of of waiting to see that. Long story short, I do film photography. So I've probably I had a photo lab for about 9 years, and I developed black and white only, of course, but for professional photographers, wedding and portraiture and stuff. And then when you take a photograph, you select the film and the lens and you aperture and you know, composition and all these things. And then you process the film and then you have to dry it and you're holding it up and water's dripping down your arms, you know, to see that one shot. What was that? Did it come out? And then you dry the film, you have to cut it up, put it in sleeve, you do a contact sheet, you have to, you know, if you're doing tray processing, you got to sit there for a minute till it comes up in the, you know, the print. Then it's wet and you dry it and then you take a magnifying glass and then you make a test print of that one and then you make a final. That's the whole process of that satisfaction that makes you feel value.
Mm-hmm.
If it's instant, it's there, but you don't get that value because of the anticipation of the process. So I think that that's lost. I think people, in the long run, why are they so unsatisfied or agitated or grumpy or, well, there's always going to be people like that, I guess. But
you're 100% right. I think it is the anticipation for something. And
well, look at what is it? The Rocky Horror Picture Show? Anticipate.
Yep.
The fact that he doesn't finish the word is then the point. And I think as humans, like, growing into what makes you a better person, like trying really hard. That's why as a guitar teacher, you can't just do it. You know, Tony McAlpine,
Mm-hmm.
His girlfriend way back when was my teacher, and he's a virtuoso. Gina told me, like, his mom would take him to the grocery store when they had music and would, you know, have him in the cart. He would come home and sit at the piano and play the songs he heard. Just play them.
Wow.
Like freaky.
Yeah.
Right? And he was a great guitar player. But I was fortunate. She took me to, I can't remember anyway, recording studio. Vicious Rumors was recording that day. Remember Vicious Rumors?
Mm-hmm.
And remember Carl? He was such a sweetheart. Bluest eyes you've ever seen. And Tony said, it's like people just want to take a pill to become good at guitar, and they don't want to work for it. Like, they want to know what's the fix. And that's true. And like I say, foreign language and musical instrument, or baking real bread with yeast, that's hard. You have to have a lot of patience with that. And if your kitchen's too cold, it won't rise. I made that mistake. But I feel that there's a certain growth of soul, and that's why we're here, is to have to work at it and to believe in yourself and to not compare and be impatient, because patience is a virtue. Don't they say that? And so I find that I'm concerned that with the internet and instant gratification, and there's more photographs taken in this time in history that are not going to be documented. Things crash, you lose all your photographs. You don't make prints of them. They're on your phone dies, you lose all the photographs. So it's like so neat to do it. But then there's no like collection or consideration of what it was, like old black and white photographs. So.
So in other words, we need a internet blackout to happen.
Actually, if there was a solar, which is possible, electronic storm in space, and it could knock out all the satellites for a couple weeks.
I think we need more than a couple weeks. I think the internet is I mean, I know it would end the show, Johnny, but I think we need the internet to take a dump for a while.
If we talk about it, we can learn without having a catastrophe, possibly. I mean, with COVID, it is kind of, it's a big lesson for a lot of people who are very impatient, and we're finding out what people's values and their character is really built on. And so I think when it first started, I said it's like the universe is checking us. And I'm kind of a spiritual student for many years because life seemed kind of like, what the heck? It's got to be more than this. So I'm not necessarily following any one religion. I'm soul searching, and I found that there's a lot of wonderful things, and there's a lot of value to struggle and strife, and it makes you a better person. It gets you through it. be kinder when you have more things, pay forward, and a lot of those things. And I think this kind of putting us in our place. A lot of people, unfortunately, are struggling because they're not seeing it for what it is. Why I can't. And I'm grateful that like you plan for a storm, so when it happens, you're at peace. You don't plan for a storm in the storm.
So plan for the worst, hope for the best, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be somewhere in the middle.
Well, back to the records and stuff and music in general. No, because I kind of agree with you on a lot of that stuff. You know, I mean,
yes.
It's just, you know, I don't want to get too deep into that unless everybody wants to. But
what are they saying?
No, I'm talking about you guys. But
I tell her to shut up. Wait, I haven't looked.
No,
at it.
not at all. No, everybody's loving it. But I think you're right though. I mean, the younger generation now, like they'll never have that experience of waiting 3-6 months when an album, hey, you know, this band, my favorite band's new album comes out summer of whatever. And they're like, you're waiting all that time.
Well,
what?
There's still the waiting. There's still the waiting, but it's so easy to get now. You don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
And everything weeks early and all that crap, and
it's all on here.
Yeah.
You know,
but do you remember the experience of like either skipping school or whatever on a Tuesday?
Oh, every day.
I cut class once, and I thought I felt really bad, so that was it for me.
I went to school once, and I felt really bad.
No, I hear a lot of people, and we're just getting old because we're like darn teenagers. We raised them and we set up a platform. We bought them that phone. We gave them easy access. We created them into a consumer. I've said this for years. We made children into consumers with the Happy Meal. Parents are pressured just to go through McDonald's because the kids. We created a market for children and teenagers that adults profit on, and then we turn around and we blame them for having that attitude. We sold them out. So sorry.
You're not wrong. You know, I mean, you kind of end up
sorry
settling into whatever the fads are. Not fads, but like whatever, you know. It's just it almost becomes like the norm. It's like, well, that's what people do, so that's what we'll do.
Somebody made money. I have 8-year-olds who are like, oh, doobie-doo, that one song. I'm like, how do you know about that? You're 8. And it's like Paramore, doobie-doo. They're like playing the Oakland Coliseum, Paramore. I'm like, who's that? And like 8-year-olds are going, Paramore. I'm like, how does an 8-year-old know? How did they market to that group? Margaret Scranton, go to her show.
Yeah, I know.
It's a plan and a plot, and they're adults that are marketing to young people. So I work with a lot of kids, and I've had, you know, I could tell you a handful of like, oh God, but a lot of them have such good hearts, and they care, and they're good kids, and they're smart, and they don't want to cheat anybody. You know, they don't want to they just don't know, but they do care. Young people are smart and they have good hearts. So I know I hear that, and it bugs me because I want to stand up for them because I'm still 13. I'm still her. And I remember how hard that was. So sorry about that. Oh, that's like my grandparents going, wait a second. Integrity, ethics, character.
Oh, yeah. Johnny, why does Black Jack whatever, why is that always flagged in the chat?
I don't know. I'm not looking at the YouTube. Let me I'm just looking at the StreamYard.
Oh.
Let me see.
I'm on the YouTube.
I'm really trying to like have as much stuff not open as I can because my connection is so terrible.
Well, I was going to say before about like the skipping school thing to get a new album that comes out because you've waited so long, and it was like an experience. And then you get home, and I just remember like, you know, one of the coolest experiences was the day that I got Skid Row, Slave to the Grind, right? Was it summer of 92? I think whatever that came out, summer of 91, 92. I forget what year it was. But I still remember like getting home with that tape, sitting on my bed and just having the tape on and just looking at the album cover and reading the lyrics and reading all the stuff. And it was like, it was an experience. I still remember doing that,
it was like cookies. You were just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I remember getting, because Randy passed in March of 82, and I really was awoken. My brothers went, they're like, Ozzy, I'm all Ozzy. And he was signing records at the Tower Records. I was like 12. I didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
I missed it by 6 months. I would have been going, and I could have seen him. Santa Cruz, they went and they saw him. Oh, I have the tour book. Oh, I should tell you this story. They got a pick. Okay, so my other brother, I have two brothers, and his friend said, we had the tour book and we found a pick and we taped it into the tour book. Do you know what happened to it? And I was like, I had no idea what he was talking about. I'm like, no. Years later, my oldest brother, I guess they both put in money to buy the tour book. He says he came and took some things out of the house. He had moved, but left some things there. And he's like, I want you to have this. And it was the tour book with the pick.
Ooh,
taped
awesome.
in it. And
that is
because
awesome.
I'm such a Randy Ozzy freak, people would give me things. So I actually have 3 tour books, which one of them must be from Europe because they only toured Diary and Blizzard, right? And there's a third one, which was, I guess, a European version, or they had another tour book. And so I have that pick. And
well, where is it?
can we do an intermission? I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh, me too. Me too.
Yeah, me too.
Bathroom break time, 9 o'clock.
I said, show and tell. And at night, I get really creative at night. I stay up way too late. Johnny, you're like, all right, I'm home. I'm like, dude, I got up at like 11:30. Jeez. Sometimes I stay up till 5. Like, and I'm not, it's weird. Nighttime, it's like not time.
Yeah.
It's just
Same with me.
There's no time. In the day, you see the sun, you know it's noon, it's da-da-da. It's kind of sort of, right, depending on the time of year. Mm-hmm. But at night, it's just like nothing. Because we were chatting last night, and I was all, because it's so still. And there's like, it's so.
And it's still in the night.
So, that's a great album. John Sykes is totally underrated. But I was like, I'm into this and I'm into that. And I was telling Ty, I go, I didn't get the tour books out because I had Van Halen 1's tour book. I bought it. I didn't go to that concert, but oh no, I was talking about Randy Rhoads. Oh, I was talking. Oh, we can take an intermission in a second.
So yeah, you said you have to use the bathroom.
After, of course, when I discovered Randy and Ozzy, I went back to all the Sabbath.
I'll go first.
I'll go get it and I'll finish the story. But no, I remember the day when I went to Tower Records because I think it was about 8 years after he died. They produced,
which tower or what city?
The Hub in Fremont.
Fremont. Okay. For those of you that don't know, Margaret and I, we're almost like neighbors, and so we know a lot of the same places and stuff.
But I remember specifically, again, like the US Festival, I could see it and I wanted to capture it in my mind forever. Mm-hmm. And if there's ever something happening where it's like, this is the greatest thing ever, you can actually record in my mind, and it will forever be vivid in your memory. Like that one crazy dream where you flew in the dream. You can never forget that dream.
I fly every night in my dreams.
You really?
Yeah.
You know, that's like super spiritual. That's like you're super connected to your soul. Did you know that? I've studied.
Well, I fly in planes in my dreams.
Oh.
No, I'm kidding. No. But no.
Tibetan Buddhism is very focused on dreaming as part of your spiritual development. Mm-hmm. So I have gotten into like dream study, but it's also in your dreams, your subconscious is trying to contact you and connect with you and sort things out. It could be just your fears and your anxiety, but your subconscious is trying to help you understand yourself when you're conscious.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense. We could do a whole other show on that, but
yeah.
Should we do a little intermission so I'll go get the tour books?
Yes. Yeah. I got to get something. I gotta refill my drink. Actually, you can go. Well, I don't want to leave you here by yourself.
Oh, leave me here with all these people?
I was gonna say something.
Oh,
There's
I'm
there's Jay.
back.
Oh, wait.
Right.
Oh, we'll leave Jay here with all the peoples.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, he'll be fine.
You can tell us your when you realized Santa wasn't real. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was late. I was probably well, wait a second. Don't say that on here. Santa is real.
I don't even remember.
Santa's real. What are you talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have kids.
I do.
Your first dog?
I remember my first dog.
Okay, I'm gonna go. So tell the folks about your first dog. What kind of breed was it? Was it a boy or girl? What was his name? And I'm gonna take a tiny break to try to find them. I know where they are, but it might take me a couple minutes. And I'll be right back.
The first dog's name was Jasper, and he kept biting my brother, so my parents had to get rid of him.
They got rid of your brother?
Yeah. Yep. Kept the dog, got rid of my brother. Yep. But this dog was one of those, it was a little shit dog. I forget what kind it was, but it's funny. Me and my dad were actually talking about it a couple of days ago. And I just remember, like, my parents always, like, man, the dog just used to attack my brother. So they just, you can't have a 4-year-old that keeps getting bit by the dog, so they gave it to another family who didn't have any kids.
Oh.
Yeah.
Boner
it's
jams.
to do, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do.
Boner jams. Thank you so
Boner
much.
jams.
Spreading boner love across the land. Happy Friday, everyone. Jay's hair is amazing. Yeah, you both your hairs are nice.
I need that cut right there. Is that next in my
man, I was gonna say something. Man, I don't know. I'm not sure. Hello, everybody. Susie Cherry, hello. We got 62 watching. How many thumbs we got? 39. Leave a thumbs up, you guys. And I apologize for the lagginess of my window. That's my stupid computer. But
your computer's stupid, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. As long as the audio is fine, that's fine, because I'll podcast this. And hey, if you're new here, by the way, please make sure to subscribe. If you're watching on Facebook, leave a like. You can share the video too on your pages. Margaret shared the video on her page, so there's going to be more. Her friends. We'll get to see this. Man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Huh? I was going to say something about something that you guys are talking about, and I can't remember what it was.
Something about something. Was it about buying records or CDs or whatever?
I don't know. It was something about something. Yeah. So how are you, man? I know we talked earlier. We talked on the phone.
I'm doing good, man. I should have either an unboxing or it looked like you lifted that thing up. It sped up as you put it to your it's like, wow.
It's good stuff.
I can't wait to drink this shit.
Yeah, see, look how laggy that is. That's horrible. Yeah. It wasn't. It has to do with something, because when we were doing a test yesterday and then today, it was fine. So it's got to be the being live, I guess, or whatever.
I don't know, but yeah. So tomorrow I should either have an unboxing or just showing something new on the John BL's Saturday Night Live.
Nice.
So that should be fun. It should be good.
Awesome.
I'm just afraid that if I get this thing tomorrow, I'm not going to want to come on the show late tomorrow night. But I can't do that. John BL will be so upset if I don't show up.
Yeah.
He'll probably want to cancel the show, you know.
No.
Stay there.
Brian Spalding. Yeah, Brian keeps asking. I don't know. I mean, we've all played the same venues, the same. It's possible you guys have met, right? The dog is saying yes.
And also, I got a few messages about this guitar. If anybody's interested, it's still here.
Oh,
it's still here. All FU tone upgraded. Kurt S5150 says CDs were cool when they came out in the cardboard case, the long box.
Yeah,
because you had something extra to look at and cut up when I used to cut the excess off and have the long, the long cardboard rectangle, put them on the wall, man, on the tops. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. When I first started buying CDs, those they still had those.
Mm-hmm.
I think I found the right one.
And then when they just put them in the little plastic things that they had to snap off. Oh, look at that.
Yeah. Oh, I never had that one.
Hello.
Me neither.
Oh, the Heavy Metal Heroes. Those were the they were dedicated to like. Oh, can we see some of that? I never had that one.
It's pretty thin because I did tear out a lot of them. Oh wait.
Edward Van Halen, the 6-string King.
Hey, my brother must have had that because that picture, that exact one, the 6-string King, was on his wall when he was a kid. So, so he had that.
When I was 13, this is what I wanted to be when I grew up. I'm like, that's what I want to do.
Wow.
Except without the anatomy, of course. And then look at that. Oh, God. I'm friends with Rudy Sarzo on Facebook. You probably are, too. He's a big animals activist, and it's so wonderful. Oh, there's Randy. Hello.
I gave Rudy a fist bump at the NAMM show one year. Walked past him.
When you grow up. I can't do this right.
Yeah, remember it's opposite. It's opposite.
I want to be that. He had the greatest hair, too, ever. God. Okay, then, you guys are going to drill. Here you go.
Oh, yeah.
Hello. Pretty
Look
cool.
at that.
And then
could that possibly be the best sounding Van Halen or guitar that Eddie Van Halen ever played?
He could play a piece of wood. It would sound great.
He can play an air guitar.
Eddie, the guitar itself made him. I don't know. Separator. I just pulled that one out. Let's see. Okay, here's the. I don't know if I got the one with the pick or not. Oh, here it is. Oh, okay.
You got it.
Be careful. We got some pick collectors that watch this stuff.
Yeah. Funny story is my brother's friend, Pete, my brother, who bought the tour book with my oldest brother, Mike. He said, if you ever find it, I want it back. Right? And I said, I don't know what you're talking about. And then when Mike actually gave it to me and said, I think you should have this, I didn't want to tell his friend because I knew he'd probably take it from me. And I'm like, dude.
You can't have that.
I'm telling you. So here it is. And then you have, oh, hello. And then
whoa, hold on. Wait, I got to see that the Ozzy pit. Look at that.
With the fringe. That was a Sabbath thing. Because it was just after Sabbath. You know that Tony Iommi made Bill Ward fire Ozzy? Did you know that like Tony and Ozzy were in elementary school together and Tony was really mean? He was kind of a bully.
I had no idea.
No.
Yeah. And his family had money and Ozzy's family was very poor. 8 children. He's one of 8 children. And when he was like 15,
I thought you meant they were very poor and they ate children.
They were poor and he was one of 8 children. Well, and and then of course that. There you go. So weird, you guys.
That was a picture I wanted to be when I grew up. That one.
The drinking one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's that. Okay. And then all this. Oh, that one's
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was a cool thing about those old tour books with like all the different.
there's the pic.
Wait, where is it? Oh, okay. I can kind of see it.
Where is it?
It's on the left side of, right on the top there.
Oh,
Mr. Rhoads.
Very cool.
can you zoom in? Can we see that?
Am I doing it right?
Or like you want to put it like in the middle. Like go, yeah, there you go. Go that way a little bit.
It's a medium. I can't imagine he would play medium fenders, but okay. Mr. Rhoads.
Wow.
Randy. Randy.
Oh, there's Rudy.
It's amazing.
Those bangs. Oh,
Got the Mo Howard.
The
He looks the same.
It's like ABBA. There's Ozzy with a beard. There's more page. Nope. And then I'm very fortunate. Oh, I have more for you.
In the plastic.
Yeah, it's in plastic. The interviews in this is after he passed away, but a rare smile photograph from him. He didn't smile very often, but in rock and roll, you're not supposed to smile anyway. So,
Mm-hmm.
And the interviews are just wonderful. Max Norm, of course, who cut his teeth producing that album, and then later became this renowned producer. Wow, that's a whole other story. And this is a former student of Randy's put out a thing. This is like in the back of BAM magazine back in the day. This is before internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I collected materials of when I was Randy's student, and I compiled it into a book. But he wanted to just send you the e-file. There was some internet, but I was like, dude, just send me the actual thing. Now this cover I have is signed by Mrs. Rhoads. I asked her to sign it, and it was not a real stone. It was something somebody made up for the memorial, because every year when you'd go,
yeah,
I asked her to sign it. But the book is Randy's teaching, and I'll just open it up to a page.
Wow. So
this is his actual handwriting of writing out lesson plans for his students and how to play scales and pentatonic and describing to them how to work a scale. So that's his actual handwriting. Pretty cool.
wow.
That is cool.
How close can you get to your hero? Pretty close.
That's awesome.
And he talks about, he's talking about D minor. See that? And he talks about the pattern itself, but then how to move through it and how to create phrasing through the pentatonic scale. Pretty neat, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I know. I love him so much. And then there's this one. There's two more. Just a little more, kids. Keep your pants.
Keep your shirt on, Ozzy.
This one's awesome. The pictures in this one are freaking awesome.
It's like he's got a world championship or heavyweight championship belt on.
It's like the under part of like armor from medieval, because when they did the stage, especially on Diary of a Madman, the stage was a castle and it was very medieval, and then even the things they wore, were designed like a medieval attire.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of cool, though. When bands used to do stuff like that.
And this is what I wanted to be when I grew up, especially Randy. This is probably after the show, so they're all sweaty and tired, which is the best time to take a picture. of what rock and roll really is, not before, or you had your hair done and you're all made up and all that junk.
Mm-hmm.
It's after the performance. Oh wait, where's Randy's? Oh, here's Randy's. Oh. Hello. That one. No, this one.
So I'm assuming that you, out of those two guitars that he was kind of known for playing, those same whoa!
Right. I know you're
a little too close for comfort there, folks.
I just have one more.
So which guitar do you like when you, obviously you're a Les Paul girl, but with him, what do you like watching him play?
Les Paul player. I'm a player. Sorry. Sorry.
Which one do you like watching him play? Or which one did you like seeing him play?
The Les Paul. You know, the Quiet Riot and his family got together and actually bought him that Les Paul for his birthday. And he played it in Quiet Riot. I just, Carl Sandoval, let's do a shout out to Carl. Just a wonderful person. Just a wonderful, still genuine, sincere man. The Jackson V's, I think, I always thought they were really flashy, and I would never want to own one or play one because it was Randy. I would love to have a Gibson Flying V. I would love to have a V by Carl Sandoval. My first electric guitar was a V. It was a piece of crap, little nothing. It was plywood. It was stacked plywood. It wasn't even wood. You could see it on the side. It was plywood.
Yeah.
But I love V's also because of Michael Schenker. And V's sitting are terrible, but standing, they're all neck. They're all neck. I mean, your reach is incredible. I had a friend who was a collector, and he had a Jackson, and he brought it over, and I was like, and I played it, and it was like the musician's musician guitar, the way they designed it. It was, the neck and body was weighted so perfectly, and it was all neck. So even though like the Jackson V's are very flashy looking, they were just a wonderful instrument. But that was Randy. He was like a studious. Oh, I have another story about that. Very studious, very serious, studious, sincere person. But he had this giant presentation. It was almost like John and I were talking about the whole yin and yang. He had this humble, sincere, studious, in-depth, like not me, you know, but then he had the hair and the leather clothes and these guitars and the strap. Each guitar had its own strap specifically for that guitar, because the Les Paul had the snake strap. So you can just look at the pictures, each guitar and his necklaces. And his presentation was so thoughtful as much as his intellect. And that's one of the things that, like, you could study Randy Rhoads for all different reasons. And long story short, so I met my boyfriend. Anyway, he's 17 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So I'm 40, right? And I went off of dating. I was pretty much through. I thought I would never couple because I just didn't know how to do it. And I'm a really sweet person, but I just got kind of trashed, and I had bad luck maybe, or I stayed with the wrong person. I don't know, whatever. So I was just kind of done, and I thought I could just be, love my family, love my animals, and do music. And I just was kind of like lost, and I didn't know how to be in relationships. And I met him. He's a musician. And I was like, never date a guitar player again. And I was like, oh God, never, And he's very handsome and talented. And I'm like, no way, right? So I meet him, and I'm like, psh. So like 8 months later, he gave me his card, and I was like, psh, right. And I chucked it in the garbage. And then that night I had the Ramones band rehearsal at a jam night, and he was there. And I was like, that's weird. I just found your card today. You're here.
I just found your card and threw it in the garbage.
Although the next day I tried to find it. couldn't find it. I'm like, oh well, whatever, it don't matter. I'm cool. And so then we went to dinner, and I found out he was 23 and I was 40. And I'm like, okay, right off the bat, this is wrong. And I would never pursue someone that much younger than me. I was hoping to maybe couple if I could, someone my same age, maybe still have a chance to have kids, but whatever, maybe I missed out. And then he starts to tell me about his dad, like studied at Estonia School of Music in Burbank with Randy Rhoads in a jazz band on trumpet with Randy Rhoads. I'm all, no way.
Oh.
Like, no way.
Wow.
And then he's young. How could he know that? I don't know if he knew what that would mean to me. He brought, the book Zen Guitar. You guys ever read that book? Super awesome.
I think I've seen it.
On the idea. It's really good. It is philosophical and it is a wonderful book. So
I think I read about that book,
really,
and I heard all I saw were rave reviews on it.
As a musician, it validates your love for what you're doing and your passion for your connection, not the scales and whether you're good, that kind of stuff. It was really more of a philosophical connection, and I was like validated by it. Anyway, Ty brought it to our first date, and I had already read it, but I was kind of impressed by that. Okay. And so then we sort of kind of hung out, and it's true. His father played trumpet when he was 9 years old. There's a picture that you see, John, you might be able to find it, and it's of Randy in the orchestra. And sure enough, Ty's father is a little redhead kid playing trumpet. And then he told me all these stories, like Randy, when they would get recess, the mom was like, doo-doo-doo. They would get recess. Randy would stay inside and practice his parts. And I was fortunate to take a couple piano lessons from Miss Rhoads and visit the memorial at San Bernardino, Mountain View Cemetery. The family still holds the memorial, Kathy and Kelly. But Kathy really supports her brother since Miss Rhoads passed, and welcomes all fans to come and talk about him, and you're all included. I think when I went to the memorials, I never felt so included in my life because I was a Randy freak and they were all freaks, and people come. Japan, a lot of Japanese folks are like super fans. They love music.
Mm-hmm.
The United States, we're kind of like
trendy.
We're kind of turds, actually, if you consider like sincerity, fickle, and so you look at other cultures that they're just genuinely sincere about what they love. I think that's pretty cool. Plus, they have.
Is this the book?
Yes.
Maybe I'll.
It's really, it's not like. It's very well written, and it's.
I can get the audio book too.
No, you need to go get the book and read it.
What you learn in this dojo.
I can't. I'm a terrible reader.
You can. That's why you should do it then. Whatever you're not good at, but you should practice.
I'm telling you, I've never read a full book in my life because it's funny. I was talking to Cameron Brown about this a couple of days ago.
On the Road, Jack Kerouac. Go get that book. That could be your first book you've ever read all the way through. It's incredible.
Yeah, but my problem is I get like 2 or 3 pages in and I'm like, wait a minute, what did I just read? And I have to go back and reread what I just read.
Well, I'm dyslexic. I have to do the same thing.
You have to read it backwards. You have to start from page 600 and go your way.
You like lose your train of thought because you're letting your mind drift while you're reading. And part of reading is to try to help you, like meditation, is to help you learn to focus your mind. But if you find an author that stimulates you, like a movie, right, where you're watching it and you forget you're even sitting there, you get lost in it. You want to find art that draws you in to the point of giving you focused thought, right? So an author, some don't. They won't do that for you. But it's just mental. It's called mindfulness training in the Eightfold Path of learning and working with your mind and trying to give yourself the ability to then have focus.
What was that? No, I'm joking. I was
telling John, I'm just like, I'm ADHD. I didn't even know I was ADHD. I'll be like, look, a squirrel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'll be reading a book,
My
And
mind would be like,
next thing you know, I'm like thinking of something else, and I'm like, ah, shit, and I got to go back. I wasn't even paying attention to what I'm looking at. You
it
know,
might be the author. And an author will capture you like an artist or a song. It will capture you, and then it's good mental training, and it's like a massage on your mind.
mm-hmm. Well, it almost sounded like Alec Baldwin was reading this. Did you guys hear that? Johnny, am I allowed to play a couple seconds of this? I mean, it's on the.
Sure.
It's a sample of it, so I don't see why it would get flagged, right?
Yeah, it's probably okay.
Like
so
infringement.
Will apply to your work, school, athletics, relationships, home life, how you think, see, feel, and hear all day long. Because ultimately, the path of Zen guitar is the path of life itself.
No, that's not Alex.
This dojo is for beginners and advanced students alike.
No, I know it's not him, but he has that same type of like calm, you know. So.
It probably says a lot of times it's actually the author. Sometimes it's an actor, like a voiceover person, depending on the book. If the author's dead, but often it will be the author reading it, because then they can really express to you what they're saying because they wrote it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I had.
Jay's like, when's class over?
Yeah, what are we talking about again?
No, Ty calls me Teacher Margaret. Teacher Margaret. I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I can't.
I think that's part of it. You know, you mentioned earlier about the instant gratification thing, and I think that's part of the problem. Everybody wants to be great at guitar like instantly, and if they don't get there, they just get frustrated and they give up. Where in order to be it's anything, and you mentioned cooking before, anything. If you want to be really, really good or great at something, you almost have to be obsessed and like dedicate the majority of your time to that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I think your life's journey is a process of growth. So when are you great? Well, what are you going to do when you're great? You're just going to stop doing it because you reached the point?
Some people do. It happens in like boxing, sports. A lot of times it happens in sports.
It's not your rival. It's the journey.
Well, in sports, you can only there's only a certain level you can get to.
But that's the problem. A lot of guys it's the same thing in music. You can almost say it, but we'll just go with sports right now. But the main goal, okay, I want to win a championship. And then you reach that goal. Well, there's, a lot of guys, the fire gets put out. And it's like, well, I reached the mountaintop, so now what's there to do? And I think the same thing goes with music. I think of Metallica a lot. They reached that point of like, they were the best heavy metal band on the planet. And they're like, oh, let's try some other stuff. Whatever we write, we can. And I think that's what kind of happened when bands and people are hungry and all they do is dedicate so much time and effort into something. You can tell. And then when people get comfortable, and it's just, they take the foot off the gas pedal, No,
I think creatively there is a certain value to expression in strife. Like your best works when you're broke.
Mm-hmm.
And when there becomes fame and fortune, your drive, it's no one's fault. That's the thing. Sometimes it's like, oh, they're no good anymore. Especially Metallica. I've heard like, oh, they were great. What happened? Well, they stopped doing Crank. Let's just be honest. And they grew up. And I think just giving them the validity that they can still be creative and expressive. But I do think that comfort in comparison to artistic expression, it changes it. Because there's no given that it's going to make it or anything, and that you do it for the love of it. You do it for the desire. You do it because you need to do it. And if there's like all the money and you got the lawyers and then that's automatically that's going to affect an artist.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Beatles, they got like, okay, they went through all those phases. Every time they were like beaten down by the media saying you're done and it's over. And then when they did Magical Mystery Tour, they got slammed for that because it was so creative and different. Oh, it must be because you're on drugs now. And I think ultimately why they broke up, it wasn't.
What are you talking about? We've always been on drugs. What do you?
It's just that creatively, there's a process. It's like a flower. It's a bud and it blooms, and like any other cycle, then it does fade. And I feel it's unfair to blame the artist for their own cycle of creativity. You know?
Well, yeah. How can you write like a sad love song when you're in the best relationship you've ever been in? Like, it's, you know, how do you write about, you know, like I get it. I totally get it. I mean, when you're younger and writing music, like, and playing in a band, that's your main focus, is like, oh, we're going to be the biggest band ever. We're going to be playing on these huge stages and go on these world tours. And that's like the main, that's the goal that you have. And then when you get there, it almost like that becomes secondary. It's like, oh, you know, how many houses am I buying this week? You know, and this business stuff going on. And then the relationships in the band start to deteriorate because the egos get in the way.
Well, look at the blues. I mean, people were downtrodden. You know, you look at We Shall Overcome, it's because they were slaves in the field. They were experiencing something that drew them to have to believe in something that would help them see them through. If everything's comfortable and nice. But it's not going to stay that way for very long. Comfortable and nice. Right?
Yeah.
Like we're going through. That's why life is checking us right now. It's a good time to write songs right now. I mean, I always go like, when something's not right, God, write a song about it. But get involved. Even though you might feel comfortable, there are things where folks are having trouble. They're struggling. You can still artistically, I think, find subjects and find a vision, because life is always going to have, can I say crap?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, you said shit, so you can say crap.
Shit. But don't you think, you know, Margaret?
I said I'm not going to swear, I promise, and I promised I wouldn't bring anything up political. But I'm just so interested in like what we're talking about. Like, why would I want to talk about that? I mean,
well, Margaret, you remember what you mentioned before when you were showing the pictures of like Randy Rhoads and stuff and Eddie Van Halen, and you're like, that's what I wanted to be, that's what I wanted to do, and all that stuff. Do you think like the younger musicians nowadays, like, is when you talk about rock musicians now, it's not all like as glamorous as we remember, like you said, looking at the hit paraders and watching your band on stage. Like, I think the younger generation doesn't have that same glamorous, glorious lifestyle, like that rock and roll lifestyle. It's not looked at the same way anymore.
Well, they don't have the like, they don't have to go anywhere. They don't. Does that make sense?
I think the heroes, to me, the heroes are fabricated for publicity. I don't think we have genuine heroes like Evil and Bruce Lee and Elvis Presley. They were real people, and they did suffer, obviously. But I think with easy access, I don't know, maybe I should talk to some young people and ask them that I don't see heroes. I see something you need to pay for, or an easy access to a click.
Commercials.
And then you don't think much of it. You don't believe in it. Oh my God. Ah, that's a song. Yeah.
Grab your guitar.
There we go. There you go.
Good swear.
And everybody thinks, you know, that, I mean, I understand that shows like American Idol.
I was so nervous today. I woke up going, oh my God, and pacing around. I dyed my hair special just for you guys. And I'm having a lot of fun. Thank you so much for inviting me into this. And
well, thank you for showing up, because I invited you like 6 months ago.
I'm sorry. Like 3 times. Now I'm gonna come back like every, I don't know.
Oh, we do these every day. So
she's here again. I have so much more memorabilia. I couldn't find it, but I have all my ticket stubs. It was like 30 something. And I'm like, I'll bring all my ticket stubs out.
Do you still have the S Festival ticket stub?
I do. I have the t-shirt too.
Oh man, John BL.
I had to wear my Randy Rhoads though today. No, Jay, I was telling John when you hit your potty break that I remember going to the Tower Records, and it was an LP because I'm older than you. And, you could order. Oh wait, I'll go get it. Hold on.
Okay.
Tower Records, man.
Hey,
Yeah.
I want to say hi to I think Dave is in here. Dave Nesdall.
Hey, man.
Hey, Dave.
Let me just say, this is a first, because you know how I'm always talking about Cow Palace.
Yeah.
Like on Saturday nights, I'm always like the Cow Palace, Cow Palace. She, Margaret knows exactly the Cow Palace.
The first time I heard Cow Palace was in a Hulk Hogan promo. They saw the Cow Palace, brother. That type of thing. That's the first time I heard.
They had the rodeos. That's why it's called Cow Palace.
Yeah. Now it's just hemp shows.
Oh Jesus.
Miss Rhoads signed that.
Oh, I've got the picture actually. Can I show the picture of you guys?
Oh yeah.
Of you two? Here's Margaret and Mrs. Rhoads right here.
There we are.
Oh, that's very
cool that day.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Here's my old ticket stub from the movie Happy Gilmore.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Me. Do you know who Richie Havens is?
Yes.
He was the opening act at Woodstock, and nobody could get to the stage, so he had to play and play. And I was very fortunate to meet him and take a picture.
Where did you meet him?
It was a Jewish rec center in San Rafael.
Because I met him too.
Or no, it was in San Francisco State. He did a concert. He would play these really small venues, and I brought the picture the next time I was fortunate to meet him, and he actually signed it. He was a beautiful, beautiful person. He has a really great book, by the way.
I'm wondering if I was there too, because I met him as well. I went to one of his shows.
Oh, here's my receipt from my piano lesson with Miss Rhoads.
Wow, $36.
I know. Oh, this is good. Anyway, this was a lot of Randy freaks. Is there any Randy freaks out there? Come on, folks. This is number 730 out of 5,000 made. And when you bought the tribute album, if you signed up and you got one, but you obviously only 5,000 people got one, and that's mine. 730 is mine.
Wow,
just a lot of. Oh, there's a disc in here. Oh my God!
What?
A what?
What?
What's in there?
Oh, a pick.
God.
She said pick.
There's $1,000 bill.
No, there's a disc of an interview with
Oh.
Dolores and Ozzy. I didn't even know this was in here. Holy crap.
Oh my goodness.
That's hilarious. But these are pretty, it's a lot of stuff from the tour books, the same photographs from the tour books. That's a good one. That was one of the last photo shoots he did, like 2 weeks before he passed. And there's Musonia. It's still in Burbank, California, on Chandelier Drive, right off of Mulholland. Believe it or not.
Mulholland, yeah.
Sorry. Anyway.
Wow.
Nora Jones. Ticket stuff. Nora Jones was fantastic in concert, actually.
Where was that? Like Shoreline or something?
Is that the Greek Theater in Berkeley?
In Berkeley? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just share. Are we still rolling? What time is it?
Yeah.
9:44.
Yeah, 6:44.
Well, you know how like people are like, we're gonna leave early. Oh, this is a peeve. Peeve. Hello. Let's
alert.
leave early so we can get out of the parking lot before everyone else. So we leave the concert before it's over. What the hell is wrong with you?
Did you leave like a lot of concerts early?
Oh my God! Like speaking of Cowboys,
Yeah, even your dog is pissed. What are you leaving the concert early?
he's like, Mom, you're right. So I had the hair, boots, and we would dress up. It was like a show. It was religious to me. We would stay pretty much till almost nobody was inside, and then we would finally go out and we would party out in the parking lot till no one was in the parking lot. I didn't want it to end.
Uh-huh.
Nora says,
You can still hear the music.
it was everything. The going, the doing your hair all big, and your, I would strut around, and it was everything. Leaving early was like leaving a movie before the end. The hell's wrong with you? Anyway.
Yeah, I never did that.
It was, yeah. Well, yeah, it was, yeah. So Nora says, okay, look towards the end. Nora says, okay, like we got one more song for you guys. So I realized some of you might want to like get to your cars. She just goes ahead and says it. Right? She was fantastic in concert, by the way. I have to say, she's smoldering. That first album, "Come Away with Me in the Night." Speaking of album, that whole album is fantastic. Sade, that one with the and it was a big hit. Madonna's "Music Makes the People," right? That album is great. Get the whole album. You will not regret it. I think I've bought 2 albums in my entire life that I didn't love the whole album. But I shouldn't tell you who they are because it's not their fault. But anyway. So Nora says, okay, you probably want to leave now. And so people did. She starts playing a song, and people are getting up, and they're starting to walk out.
They're leaving.
Sure enough, the next song hit. You didn't realize she didn't play. And everyone stopped.
Yeah.
And they're standing, and they're like, whoa, okay, that song finishes. Maybe people think, another hit. She tricked us. She did not play songs that were big hits that you didn't realize she didn't play. And then she put them at the end. She had standing room for 3 more songs. Everyone just stood there in awe. I thought it was awesome. But anyway, stay till the end. Watch the credits of a movie.
It happens at sporting events too. Your team will be getting blown out, and then you leave in the middle of, when there's 10 minutes left or something. You're like, we're getting blown out. We got to get out of here. Next thing you know, you're listening to the game and you're leaving the parking lot, and then the epic comeback happens and you're not allowed to get back in. It's like, I
mean, you still paid for your ticket, but we're talking about the album experience, anticipation, your human experience, and you reading a book. Putting yourself.
Who's reading a book?
You.
You got to read that book before the next show.
I wrote Jack Kerouac. I wrote a song about it. It's called Gangbuster Crazy. He sits in, I won't want to spoil it for you, but there's a couple of passages in it that are music related that you just feel in awe of music and musicians, the way he speaks of. Also, Ralph Waldo Emerson has an essay called "The Poet." Anybody out there interested in reading a little thick English? Ralph was a very eloquent writer, but the way he writes this essay about the poet, it almost makes you cry because of his admiration for what a poet is. Although I think he's a poet himself, he modestly puts himself aside to admire the depth of the expression that a poet brings.
Mm-hmm.
It was mind-blowing. Yeah. It's a little tough to read, John. We were talking about that, and we were talking about civil disobedience and Thoreau and his aunts, if anybody gets that joke, but that's worth reading if you can get through the 1800s English. It's a little tough, but
this is all going over my hairdo here.
That's all right. Good for you. Stand on your tippy toes.
You can get the audiobooks on those.
I know. That's what I'm looking for right now. I'm trying to get the audiobook. But it's weird. It's like on Amazon, it has audiobook. Basically, it says for free with your Audible trial. But I have Audible already, but it won't let me pay for it.
some books you can, nowadays with publishing, this is the sad thing about technology. I didn't want to go into that because this is a rant. Book binding and bookstores, and with technology and photography, I could go into that because I'm a photographer and I was a printer. I'm a film photographer. Hell, Ansel Adams. Technology really did destroy a lot of industries, and I feel that it has changed the experience for the next generation. They don't have access to those things. But we did a Laird. What's his name? Laird, the surfer, big wave. You know what I'm talking about, right? Laird. What's his name? He's married to Gabby, the volleyball. She's awesome.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Laird Hamilton. It's a documentary about, anyway, really neat, really, really neat. And he's written books, and he did a thing on like nutrition, and we saw the documentary and it talked about his books. Yes, Laird Hamilton. And I'm like, I want the book, right? So yes, Gabby. I have a list of like gals that I want them to be my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Goldie Hawn and Barbara Streisand, and there's quite a
Cher.
Well, sure. Okay, Isabella Rossellini. It's just certain women that like you think not like bromance. You know, you guys. I love.
What are you talking about? Me and Johnny?
When guys are best friends, I like the movies with guys who are best friends. I love because I see men expressing emotions instead of not. From a girl's perspective, no offense, I know not to say anyone's what, but Gabby was on my best friend. Anyway, I went on and tried to get the book, and I can't. It's out of print. They won't print it because they're not printing books. You can only get it on ebook.
Mm-hmm.
Pointed in that.
Well, just type it out yourself when you're listening to it,
Gene Simmons, what's that?
Gene Simmons? Oh. I can't do his voice. We need either Paul or Ned.
Paul.
I'm reading that. Laird Hamilton.
We'll be doing the Gene Simmons impressions tomorrow night.
Yeah. Well, Margaret, before you leave, or before we split, my daughter wants to come up and say hello.
What? Hi, sweetheart. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine.
I must prepare you. She might come upstairs with a Jason Voorhees mask on, so be prepared.
Jason from Halloween?
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th. Oh God, that throws me back to like the drive-ins.
Yes.
Go just to and you didn't even watch the movie. I don't mean that. I mean like.
Sure. Yeah.
Party.
Mm-hmm. Like the ones in Oakland, like the Oakland drive-ins.
Union City Drive-In.
Union City, okay, yeah.
I lived across the street from it for many years and photographed it quite a bit. I should send you some stills of it if you want.
Yeah.
You could admire my photography because I'm probably a better photographer than I am a guitar player, but. What you were saying about growing as a musician, can I go back to that really quick?
Of course, yeah.
It's a never-ending journey. Like life, we see this achievement as a point of finish. But the purpose of our experience is to never finish. Mm-hmm. That there is a growth plate that is our gift. It's a gift to us. And I think this thing about like getting great and then just being great, there is no achievement because then that would not be fair to us. That we will always have room to grow. We will always have room to find where we can advance. There she is. Hey, girl. Ellie Bell. Ellie.
Hey, Ellie.
What are you doing, Ellie?
Hi, Ellie.
Hi, girl. I like your shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Look at you, little goofball. Who's a little goofball?
Is she going to play the drums?
You want to get an ukulele? It's perfect for you.
Oh, you want to come say hello?
Hi, sweetheart.
You want to meet Margaret? Come on. Come on, get up here.
Thanks.
Ellie, she told my wife that she wants to come up and ruin the show. That's what she said. Come on.
I already ruined the show.
Ellie, come here.
John, this is so fun. Thank you so much.
Come on, go,
Oh,
baby.
of course.
Earlier
All
today.
right, come here. Come on, baby girl. Ready?
Hi, sweetheart.
Let's up with this.
Tell Margaret who your favorite band is.
X triple I.
Well, who sings X Triple I? Crazy Licks? She loves this band from Sweden called Crazy Licks. Because when the band wrote a song for the Friday the 13th game that came out a few years ago. Jason, yes. So when they play the song live, he puts on a Jason mask. So she knows Jason from that band, not from, you know.
Ellie, what?
Time. There's plenty of time to fix that.
Yeah, she'll be like, "What were you guys doing to me? You let me wear a."
Led Zeppelin one.
Ellie, what's Jason have on his knife?
What do you think? I'm getting
Ellie.
Ellie, what does
Ellie.
Jason have on his knife?
Jelly.
Jelly. You see?
Ellie, what's
All
your
right.
favorite ice cream? What's your favorite ice cream?
Ellie, Margaret wants to ask you a question.
Like what?
What's
Eh?
your favorite ice cream flavor?
What's your favorite ice cream flavor?
Rainbow.
Rainbow. So all of them.
Sherbet.
Rainbow sherbet. Huh?
Oh, that sounds good.
Ron, is it sherbet or is it sherbet?
Sugar.
Told you, I guess.
Oh,
All right, you won't let us wrap up the show. We'll I'll be down in a few minutes.
Let's go.
You want to sing? Go ahead.
do you know Somewhere Over the Rainbow?
Wait, you know Twinkle Twinkle, right?
You know, Twinkle Twinkle is the same as the ABCs, and that Mozart wrote that when he was 3.
Ellie, you know that guitar costs more
Yeah.
than you, right?
That's pretty cool, huh? What a legacy.
All right, I'll be down in a few minutes, okay?
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
Ellie, are you going to play guitar or are you going to play drums? What are you going to play?
That.
Do you want to play drums or guitar?
You
All
want-
right. Johnny, remember when she used to just come up here and just hang out?
Yeah.
And ruin up the show.
Ruin up the show.
Ruin up the show.
Ow.
All right, baby. I'll be down in a few minutes. I'm gonna walk her down.
She's the oldest, I get it. Firstborn.
All right. I'll see you in a few, okay? I'll be right back.
Firstborn. She'll make a good partner.
She's awesome. Ellie's awesome. Jay's been on here for a few years now, and we see Ellie from time to time, and yeah, she's amazing.
I think I did all right. That was so fun.
Oh, actually, I've got a
I'm coming back. I think I might have to
yeah, come back. Well, we're on the same time zone now, so it won't be as weird, because like I told you, I've always done these shows with people on the East Coast, so the time, like for them, it's like what 11 o'clock now or something, or 7, 8, 9. It's like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
You know.
I know I gotta make dinner pretty soon.
Mhm.
I think the dog has to pee too. Hey, he's back.
I'm back.
So I'm going to show you guys this really quickly. I can't show the video, but I'm gonna show you a still.
Is it me?
Oh, with a 9.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this picture. Actually, it's a still from a video.
Oh, I'm right behind Nuno, huh?
How many of those people? Yeah, that's Margaret right behind Nuno Betancourt
Oh, wow.
with Ozzy, Ingve.
I see Randy Savage back there. Wait a second. Is Nuno really that short?
He's tiny. Yeah. He was
He
about
actually-
5'7". Ingve is like 6'4". I was surprised he's really tall.
Damn, because Nuno's like, guys, come on, man. I can't see.
Yeah. He kept leaning in front of me. No, there was the induction to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at Guitar Center in Hollywood, and I knew it was happening, and I flew down just for it, and I didn't realize that I had to tell Miss Rhoads I was coming to be on a list. And so when I get there, there's all these fans outside, and there's everyone inside. I'm like, I'm gonna do a James Bond move here, and I just faked it out to the girl with the clipboard. I said I should be on that list. Like, I'm telling you, if you want to go in and ask Miss Rhoads, which I knew Miss Rhoads would say, yeah, let Margaret in, because I'd seen her many, many years and she knew me enough.
Mm-hmm.
And the gal's like, I'm too busy, just go in. And so I got in and I was like, yeah, Rudy was there, Ingve.
Well, Ben Tom says that's Zach Wilde that looks like Randy Savage right there. I guess it is him.
Yeah.
Love
And
him.
and this is like a 12-minute video. We'll I'll put a link to this in the Discord.
Yeah, really? So I got
And,
in here and then they did the thing and it was Ingve and Zach and I didn't have a pass, so I was afraid to leave the building. I couldn't get back in, so I was kind of not trying to like go outside. But I ended up out there and there was all these cameras and I thought, how funny, I'm like a nobody with all these famous people. And maybe someday I'll be like, oh, this is Margaret Scranton. She was back when, you know, she was a nobody. And I'm still kind of a nobody, but I'm in the video, so hey.
And you're taller than Nuno, so hey.
So, Margaret Scranton, if you Google me, you can hear my first album. It's Born Ready. This 5-song EP. 4 songs with a different vocalist on each song. So no, that is not me singing. I can sing. I'm just not very good. I'd rather play lead guitar and write lyrics and songs, but okay. And so I have 4 different vocalists. It was kind of a Moby thing. You know Moby?
Mm-hmm.
The 18 album and Play, especially. Love him. And Carlos Santana for the expression of a guitarist that couldn't sing, and I don't want to be the singer. Like, that's a thing, and it's not me. But with Moby and Santana, I really felt like I was like modeling that I could be still the writer and have other people sing. There it is.
Yes, I use Spotify. I know.
And Many Things is my instrumental, where it's probably owed to Joe Satriani, which Surfing with the Alien was in my car for at least a year and a half. And I loved Surfing with the Alien. I love Joe. And I'm not necessarily a player, but I think Johnny and I were talking about that I'm a fan. Like, I'm a huge fan. And then I'm a musician. But I don't really necessarily model what I'm doing as a musician to what I'm a fan of. Does that make sense? But I was very serious on that album. And Tom Hunting from Exodus played drums for me. My former drummer was Paul Bailoff's girlfriend years before, who was Exodus's vocalist, who actually passed away during her audition for us. Crazy. Don't do drugs, people.
No.
Yeah, stay away from that world. There's no point, and you will only crash and burn, and you might die, end up dead. Let's just say I'm really against, I call dark drugs. Very much against. I'm drinking beer, but hey. Dark drugs are a waste of time, and they can really, really, I have lots of friends who have lost their lives and have lost their families and jobs, and end up very, very sorry for what they did. Anyway, that's a whole nother show. And so Tom, anyway, came in and played drums on that album. So it is really, I feel like he made it like that much better because he is a snap. Oh my God, his meter is just incredible. Gary Holt, who is a phenomenal guitar player, beyond what he does in Exodus. I know. Oh, my Slayer story. Wait, do I have like 5 more seconds?
And Slayer, yeah.
Sure.
Story is Paul Bostaff. I went to high school with Paul.
Really?
3 years older. So he was like a senior when I was whatever, right? And he was in band, and his brother Pete was in my boyfriend's band, Defiance, when they were doing like more metal stuff. And Paul wasn't really a metal player, but Paul got the gig to be in Slayer. And then I know Slayer's guitar player, I know, was battling cancer. You guys probably know more about this than I, but Gary ended up filling in, right? And playing guitar for Slayer. And they were on like Jimmy Fallon, right? Or I forget. Anyway, one of those night shows. And I'm watching it going, I know the drummer and the guitar player, like personally, like they know who I am. Like they know me. Like if you saw me, you go, that's Bart, you know. And I felt like I was this close to being on Jimmy Fallon. I'm like that close. Because being the music guest on Saturday Night Live was always my dream. to be the music guest on Saturday Night Live. That would be like the thing, you know.
Mhm.
I wonder if I can find a video real quick while we're still on here.
But Gary, I have to say, Gary's a super nice person, phenomenal. I know he does the more metal, you know, you hear what he does in his work. But like Billy Joe Armstrong, he's quite the guitar player, and don't underestimate him just because.
I'm telling people that all the time because Billy used to. Margaret,
he's a great guitar player. He loves Radiohead, so.
Yeah, you know Subway Guitars, right?
Where's that?
You know, in Berkeley.
Okay.
You know, You ever heard of Fat Dog? Anyway, I worked there for years, and Billy Armstrong, those guys used to come in all the time, and Billy would play like the Rolling Stones. He played Van Halen riffs, and you know, I'd be telling people for years, this guy can actually play. It's not like those 3-chord Green Day songs that you used to hear, you know.
But his solos, his 21 Guns solo, which I teach, is like the most eloquent tonal center example. So tonal center is when you play the notes like arpeggiating from a chord. Because I heard that for years. I'm like, I don't know what that means, whatever. But all it means is you aren't going scalar. You're more just working the chord. And it is a beautiful example. I just, but the lyrics and his vocal style and Green Day from the East Bay, the rhythm section. Oh my God.
Yeah. I'd run into them like all over town. Actually, Billy was driving in a car like behind me one time in Berkeley down Solano Avenue.
Yeah. I heard a story where somebody kind of like was mocking him backstage saying he's not much of a guitarist. But he's the lead singer. He writes the lyrics. He's playing rhythm guitar at a 3-piece. And you're going to mock him because he doesn't shred? Like, again, then we go back to that.
And actually, they do have another guitar player.
And he grabbed a guitar and he totally did a blah, blah, and then the guy was like, what?
Yeah. Well, my friend gave him lessons.
But remember
when we're off air, I'll tell you. I've got some stories.
Remember when I told you, I said, can't you just assume I'm awesome before I prove you wrong?
Yeah.
And why is it I always have to prove that I'm cool, and then you forget, and then you question me, and then you're like, whoa, whoa. And look at these like totally famous people get like, oh, you're a. So I get it. It's human nature, but that must be frustrating. But Billy, I love those guys. I'm so proud of them. I'm so happy for them, of their success. And that's like, you'd say, you know, that saying 1 in a million.
Yeah.
It's like 1 in a trillion to have that opportunity. And then all we should do is just have praise for that. And you know, anyway, I digress. It's really hot in here. Uh-oh, what is that? Is that Green Day concert? Wait, who is that? Gary Holt. Slayer. Oh, that's Paul Bostaff.
Did you film that?
He's a super nice guy.
Oh, your microphone's turned off.
Oh, shit. Sorry about that. Yeah. February 26, 2016. I became friends with Gene Hoglan about 4 years ago. He's the drummer for Testament. And they played at the House of Blues here in Myrtle Beach. And he got us tickets and backstage passes and stuff. And
wasn't it Testament and Death Angel, East Bay guys?
Yep.
Yeah. We had Alex Skolnick on. Alex is an old friend of mine from years.
Oh, I forget. Is it Testament? Him?
Crap.
Tim?
Wait, you shouldn't get. Hold on a second. Let's see if anybody can guess this. If thrash metal's here, he's gonna be able to know what it is.
No, I worked at a photo lab where we did the school portraits. I can tell that's Gary though, just by the way he's walking.
Listen to that. It just sounds like noise. God, that was fun though. So that was technically let's see. Ellie was born in October. That was February. So she was in Jeannie's belly. So that's technically Ellie's first concert was Slayer and Testament.
Do you remember Forbidden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were Forbidden Evil originally. And I think Paul Bostap was their drummer, like way back, or like cousin.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, but they have that one album that's really, really kick ass.
No, their guitar player. I worked in a photo lab where we did school portraits and senior portraits. I may have a copy of it. I might have kept it from the garbage can. I have quite a few things that were supposed to be thrown away that I kept. And it was the guitar player. It was his senior portrait with the whole tuxedo and the hair. And I was like, dude, I know who that is. That was pretty fun.
Man.
I can't remember his name. Tim, I forget. Anyway, Gary Holt, Tom Hunting really helped me out on that album. And super nice people. You know, you go, oh, it's metal, and then, but like,
yeah, it's metal. That's what I'm talking about.
But they're really beautiful, like very gentle, loving, and very considerate people. That's the thing about musicians. We go out on stage, we're like, da 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 da. I was telling John, you might see me on stage, but I'm like a softie, and I like to bake, chocolate chip cookies and feed the squirrels and count the turtle doves I get in my yard when I put the seeds out.
Yeah, but you can understand though, especially like you go to a metal concert and you see these guys on stage and it's like everything's in your face and just loud and all this stuff. You can understand why some people might be like,
it's expression though. I feel like the artist is expressing themselves big for you.
Mm-hmm.
But then when they are done, they're genuinely very humble people.
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, like I mentioned, Gene Hoglan. I mean, me and him were texting a few, like maybe 3 or 4 nights ago about different stuff, and talking to him on the phone and then talking to him in person. I was kind of nervous the first time I met him, and you just, like I said, you see a guy in a metal band that's one of the best drummers, and then you talk to him, and he's just like a super down to earth, gentle dude, and it's like this is super cool, man.
I did one time chase James Hetfield down the street. He and Lars were out kind of in front of this. The Stone was in San Francisco was a really, Joan Jett. I saw Alice in Chains before they were famous there, and Extreme.
Mm-hmm.
It's way too loud. I don't know why they play so darn loud. But he was out there and someone was handing out flyers for their show. It was like a little, whatever, 4x5 little, here's your flyer. And so like the Randy Rhoads thing, like I could be really gutsy sometimes. Like we got backstage at the Omni, John, for Racer X.
Really?
And I was wearing a Loudness t-shirt. Remember Loudness? Akira Takasaki, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We got in and we knocked on the door and I'm blanking out now. Oh.
You went inside.
Racer X, Paul Gilbert.
Yeah.
He's like 6'4". That guy's I saw him at NAMM one time because you go there, right? He's a big guy.
Yeah.
And
I have
socks, no shoes. He's so funny. Like pictures in magazines, he's in socks and no shoes all the time. It's like he's so silly, like a musician, whatever, right? We're silly. And the first thing he said is, "Cool shirt."
So what happened with Hetfield? Come on.
Down the street, like half a block, and he stopped, and he's like 6'4". He's a big guy. And I was like, "Oh shit, what did I do?" Right? And I said, "Can I shake your hand? You don't have to." And he just smiled at me and he shook my hand and I had the flyer. So I grabbed a pen and I said, "Will you sign this?" And he said, "Sure." So I got his autograph. Long story short, do you remember, I don't mean to be risque, but in the back of Playboy,
yeah,
there's like, in the back, there's like the Hollywood. There's like 2 pages of like celebrities. Right?
2 inches.
No. A picture of Metallica, and each of them are holding up a letter, a 4-letter word.
Okay. F. I'm
from a
assuming.
billboard or like a a thing like F blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I cut that out because, long story short, my mom's idea of sex education was Playboy for my brothers and Playgirl for the daughters.
Wow.
It's kind of yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, that's how I knew about that. So I had the autograph, and I have the picture of the 4 of them holding the letters, spelling. Anyway.
Wow. Well, hey, since you brought up Paul Gilbert, let me show you this. You've probably seen this picture because it's been on it's been on Facebook forever. But there's a selfie I took with Paul and Nuno one year.
No.
Johnny's taller than Nuno, so that says something.
Yeah. Yeah, I am taller than him.
He's like 5'7".
Yeah. That must make me 5'8", though.
Oh.
5'7" and a bit.
I'm tall for a girl. So.
Hey, you guys are going to have to wrap this up. I got to put the little pumpkin to bed. And she does not sleep in her Jason mask, if that's what you were going to ask.
But she wants to.
She sleeps with her strawberry shortcake doll.
Nah, she has 2 Jason dolls. She has like that little Pop Funko one, whatever they're called. And then she has like a plush one or whatever. But anyway, all right. You guys finish up. I got to split. Margaret, it was a pleasure meeting you and talking.
And bless you and your family and your kids.
Thank you very much.
And being a dad and, changing the world by bringing up the next generation. And they should buy the album because we'll talk about that.
Yep.
Remember that. And I would hope you find an author and on the road. But whatever works for you, but it is things that challenge us are things we should pursue. And I've benefited greatly. Even though I'm dyslexic and ADHD, it was really hard in school, but I did find authors that kind of jazzed me enough to stay focused on a book. But ties telling me I'm Teacher Margaret, and I should stop telling you that.
I'll start with the audiobook and see where that leads me.
I'm a mom with no real children, so I have to mother everyone.
It's the nurturing part of you.
Over the years, I'll be more Jewish, so it's just going to get worse. Do it. Tell me you did it already. That'll be in 10 years.
All right, everybody, have a great night. Margaret, again, pleasure meeting you.
You too, and bless all your friends. Who do we have? Jesus, Joe, Music Therapy, Laz, Ivan.
Johnny, I'll talk to you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow, Jay.
Yeah, I'll see you and talk to you tomorrow. I'll let you know if that package comes.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there.
Okay. All right.
Good night, everybody.
See you, Jay.
How do I stop? Oh, do I say leave studio?
Yeah. Don't hang up yet, though. We'll end the show and then yeah. But hey, Margaret, it was so great having you on, and I know this was a long time because I asked you to come on like months ago, I was
totally chicken.
Long time ago. But this is so great though too because oh yeah, let me. Is it okay if I show that picture real quick?
Can I just take a potty break real fast?
Yeah.
Come right back?
Yeah.
Oh, twist my arm. I'll stay here. You'll be like, hanging up, Margaret. 2 beers. So. Watch out, dog. Come on, dog. Watch out, sweetheart.
Okay, so you guys, this picture, it's a really bad picture.
Oh, that picture.
Yeah, but that's me and Margaret right there after a show. That's me in the police t-shirt, and that's my friend David right there, our bass player. That's Margaret right there, and then that's her singer and her band. But yeah, that was us back in 2002, outside the Stork Club in Oakland, California, after a show. And I had this picture on my website for years, but it's really small. It's like a little GIF. Hopefully I can find the actual picture sometime. I know I've got a couple of them, but I found that last night, and it's very cool. Let's see. I'm looking at just now looking at the chat. Music Therapy. Hey. Yeah, dude, music therapy. When this whole when everything gets back to normal, we can all get together because we're all local. Margaret's local. Gargot's Entertainment. Hey, good to see you. Ivan, good to see you.
I asked him, he's like, oh, whatever.
Huh?
No, Tyve's home, and he's like, you're drinking beer on the show? I'm like, well.
It's all good. It's all good.
I'm not
Okay.
drunk. Don't drink and drive, ever. It's bad for you. It's illegal.
Yes.
It's very dangerous. And you could spill your drink.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. All right, Margaret, don't hang up, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to take you out of the system here, but don't go anywhere. I'll bring you back. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Enjoy silliness. And
Check out Margaret's music. Actually, I have is it right here? Here is her album right here, and it's everywhere. Like Margaret said, just Google her.
yeah, just Google it because it's all everywhere.
Yeah.
Second album isn't, unfortunately, but if you want to like find me on Facebook and ask me about my other album, that's cool.
Awesomes. Okay. Let me just thank our channel members, because here on YouTube we have sponsors.
Steve Carmichael. Thank
We
you.
appreciate all. Yeah, Steve Carmichael. He's one of them.
Thanks, Steve.
So yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. I'll come back. I could. I got a lot of stories, but I could like make them up too. My real stories are more fun because I'm really convincing because it's real.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. Margaret would definitely be back.
After 50 years, I'll say it. I'm okay with that. The wisdom of all those years. There's a lot of fun stories. And I like to support people and share things so folks feel like they're not alone, or if they went through that, or what would I do if that happened to me? John and I talked about this. I like to lend myself as a musician, as a performer. I always felt like I could what's the word? Comfort people.
Mm-hmm.
So if my stories and my ideas can help make you have some insight, or maybe down the road you'll go, remember when she said that? Like maybe it's not so bad, or maybe I've seen that I'm not alone. That if I share like things, and honestly, there are more very difficult stories that that would be a different show.
Yeah.
I like to have fun though. Keep it light. That's what we talked about.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing. That's why I do these shows is to have fun, and people have.
It would be okay no matter what happens to you.
Mm-hmm.
Wayne Dyer said, or was it Richard Bach said, you will survive no matter what you go through. And so it's hard sometimes, or I don't know, or I'm lost, or what we're going through with COVID right now, that you will survive and you will wake up the next day, and we can all look back after and just get yourself through it.
Mm-hmm.
And get a guitar and write some songs.
Yeah, most importantly.
Or get a kitten. Or a puppy.
Get a Ned.
Yes, Ned. Oh, where's Neddy? He's up there. Neddy. Where's Boopy?
I think he's on the bed. Ned's on the bed.
Boopy's in the cat tower where I've been putting catnip.
Oh.
Because he's attacking his brother before he's left to get fixed. Anyway, that's a whole other story. That's a whole other show.
Yeah, next time.
All right, everybody. I hope you had fun with us.
Thank you, everybody.
Uh-oh, there she is. Okay. I'm going to stay on, though, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, here you go.
Oh my God, Yvette! One of my greatest friends ever. We worked at Kodak. And oh my God, sweetheart. Hey! One of my most wonderful friends. Such a beautiful woman and a mom and a grandma now. And I hope the baby's okay. We're having some medical issues with her grandson, and I hope everything's okay.
Thank you for watching, Yvette. Thank you. All right. We're out of here. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. Saturday Night Live with John B.O. See, we have a show on Saturday nights we call Straturday nights. That's what we call it. So
Is there some kind of yoga involved in that?
there should be.
We should talk about that. We could develop a whole new Wednesday yoga music talk show.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds
Actually,
good. We'll do it.
I aspire to be a yoga instructor, although I'm not in shape right now, but I do know a lot about yoga. It's very good for you. One of the greatest things you can do for yourself. Plus drinking lots of water.
Mm-hmm.
Stay hydrated, stretch. You will live longer. Ty's flagging me to stop talking.
Yeah. All right. Don't hang up.
Okay.
Well, I'll be right back, Margaret. Thank you for watching, everybody. See you guys. See you guys tomorrow night. Johnny Bean TV. Good night.